No.
Oh, my goodness. Valentine.
No.
Whoa, no.
No.
That is not the shot at that moment.
That's a horrible shot.
Good afternoon. You're listening to WQKE-LP 93.9 FM out of Plattsburgh, New York, and welcome to your 3 o'clock sports report with Desmond and Liam. Desmond, how are you on this Wednesday afternoon?
Tired.
Nice. It's kind of that second half of the semester, a little bit tiredness is kicking in. We got a lot of projects.
Yeah. I mean, they've kind of slowed down recently, but I'm sure they're going to pick right back up. We know they're going to pick right back up soon.
I want to tell a story about my project today. Desmond loved this one.
Oh, yep.
So I had an interview, which was about 20 minutes from campus. So I picked up my camera, drove out there, got my lights set up. Me and the talent are talking, whatever. I go to turn on the camera. It doesn't turn on. I'm like, oh, the battery's probably dead. And I had checked this before because I was scared the scenario would happen. Grab the backup battery, put it in. It's dead.
Dead.
So that was a little bit frustrating, but there's your fun little story to start the day. Let's transition into sports. Somehow we're still talking about the NFL.
Draft. All about the draft.
Well, there's some pretty big news today.
Oh, yeah, obviously the biggest news more recently is that Deebo Samuel apparently requested a trade today. Him and the Niners were attempting to reach an agreement on a contract, but they've been unable to, obviously. And they've now requested a trade. I mean, obviously the biggest suitors for someone like Deebo is like the Jets, the Chiefs, the Packers, Titans maybe, Falcons, even though I don't know what they would give up. The Eagles, I find the Eagles, I mean, they did, now is kind of a bad time because they did end up going from, I think, 3 picks to 2. So it depends on what they want to do with the picks that they have, but we'll see where he ends up going. Obviously a very talented multi-positional player, so a lot of teams, if not every team, should be calling John Lynch Day.
Yeah, and I would just keep an eye on where the first are located. That's what I would say.
Yeah, absolutely. To me, I'd go anywhere 15 and up is where I'd go in terms of trading Deebo. 15 and up.
Yeah, if I can get 2 picks for him, and one of them being a high first this year, I'd be very happy with that. And as we are about to review another mock draft, you can easily identify that this draft, if you're picking in the top 15, you're going to get some really good talent.
Absolutely.
And there's a lot of different availability.
So yeah, with that, I guess we'll hop in. This is a mock draft by Peter Schrager. I got an email today, and it said that he made one, and I've heard of him before, so I was like, you know what, let's take a look.
Yeah, he's the host of Good Morning Football.
Good Morning, right, yeah.
NFL Network.
I already don't like this. First overall
is Travon Walker.
No.
Before the show began, Desmond gave me his Travon
top
Walker.
15. He's not a top 15 talent, let alone a top 15
Yeah,
player.
but this description has got a good explanation for it. It'd be a very Jaguars thing to do. I'm told by people in the know that the decision on this pick is far from made. With less than 2 weeks to go, the Jaguars are still building their board. The fact that it remains a debate makes me think they're leaning towards Walker.
The fact that it's not between the combination of Hutchinson and Thibodeau or Evan Neal is pretty stupid on the Jaguars' end, because it's pretty clear that you need to take one of those 3 players, preferably Evan Neal, because you can lock down one of the best offensive lines in the league for the foreseeable future while protecting your previous number 1 overall pick at quarterback. But with the way the NFL is, they're going to go for the flashier pick of an edge rusher, which I'm not opposed to, but if I'm them, I build my offensive lineup for your quarterback.
Yeah, they're going to go something sexy. So if the problem with this mock is that pick right there, because now it messes up the rest of the draft.
Yeah.
Number 2, of course, would be Aiden Hutchinson, of course. That's what the Lions would have to do.
Yeah, I mean, if he's still available at 2, I'd go him.
Yep. And then 3, Aquanu, which I'm sure you would love.
I mean, I say it all the time. It's not a toss-up, but if Aquanu goes first, I'm not going to complain.
This is where it starts to get a little weird. 4, if he's on the board, Thibodeau.
I mean, for them, I'd rather have Sauce Gardner, but I'm sure Jets fans feel the same way. I wouldn't be opposed to Thibodeau.
So 5, Giants. This is where Desmond's going to start losing his mind. I can already see it. Charles Cross.
What? They have him falling that far. Oh my goodness. Okay.
Yeah, I know where you're
now, here's my thing. I'm also very high on Charles Cross. That big 3, I think, are all going to be stars. But the toss-up between Ekwonu and Neal is very, very different between Cross and Neal. Because Neal is by and far the better talent. Because with Neal and Ekwonu is a better run blocker, but Neal is a better pass blocker. So you can kind of decide what direction you want to go with that. Cross is a very good pass protector, but he needs to work on his run game and his ability to pull and move around. Neal, on the other hand, does not need to work on that. He's great in the open field. He's great, but he's just great. He's just great. There's no reason to even consider taking Cross over Neal. But whatever.
And I think the problem is that he's making these picks. When I read these descriptions, I feel less based on what he thinks and more based on what he's hearing. I think he said that at the top. What he's hearing. As
a reminder, as always, this isn't what I would do. This is what I'm hearing from my sources around the league, which makes sense because I've been seeing a lot that the Giants are
let's just read
very
this.
high on Charles
This is what he said. Quote, first big shocker of the draft. The Giants take crossover Edison, Neal, and Sauce Gardner. For the Giants love this Mississippi State product, who's not only rising up on their board, but several other teams as well.
Yeah, I mean, he's a very good talent, but I wouldn't take him over Neal.
It'd be a Giants thing to do. I'm just saying. You have too much faith in the Giants management. You do.
This is a brand new regime.
You still do.
Yeah, but we haven't seen what they want or what they haven't said anything about what they want or what they want or don't want to do.
It's just a Giants thing to do. Okay, Panthers, Kenny Pickett.
No. Not only would I not want Kenny Pickett as my quarterback that high, Evan Neal is on the board. Take Evan Neal. Wait for Bryce Young.
Pickett's meeting with the Panthers last week went really well. In fact, all of the quarterback prospects meetings with Carolina did. With only one other pick in the top 140, I think the Panthers just take their quarterback of choice, hold their nose, and deal with any draft day critique suggestion they've reached with their selection. Okay. Thanks.
No.
7?
No.
Sauce Gardner to the Giants. Sorry.
Yep. He'd be a great fit in Wink Martindale's system. I've said it multiple times, if Thibodeau and Hutchinson are not on the board, I do not want another edge rusher, so I will very gladly take Sauce at 7.
8, if he's there, Evan Neal.
Yeah, I mean, that's literally the most no-brainer pick for that team. I would not. He's no chance that he's falling that far, but I'd take him in a heartbeat.
Okay, 9 Seahawks. So this is where you can start really, like the Falcons, they need every position.
Yeah.
Giants kind of, besides offense, kind of need every position.
Not really.
Besides line.
Their top 4 positions of need are tackle, obviously, guard. Then you have like linebacker. We need one more linebacker. And corner. Obviously I want an edge rusher, but if we don't take one, it's not the end of the world. But yeah.
9. So Seahawks, this is where you kind of have a lot of spots to fill over the Seahawks. Stingley.
I don't like Stingley, but I wouldn't be opposed to the pick if I'm the Seahawks.
I think it's a good pick for the Seahawks. 10, Jamison Williams.
Yeah, I've said multiple times that I think Jamison Williams is the highest ceiling out of the draft, but I wouldn't be opposed to that. I mean, I've seen a lot of Jets fans that want Garrett Wilson, but if Cam Akers can come back from a torn Achilles in 6 weeks, he'll be fine.
11 Commanders, Garrett Wilson.
No. Kyle Hamilton still available? Yep, Kyle Hamilton's a pick there every single time. They are going to pair him and Cameron Curl, and they will be one of the best safety duos in the NFL for a very long time.
They do need a receiver. That's a very fair pick.
I mean, yeah, but you also need defense. You need secondary help because their secondary is kind of what holds them back defensively.
Mm-hmm. I'm just saying they do. It's a realistic pick.
Yeah.
Vikings, Jermaine Johnson.
I'd rather go corner for them. But then again, I don't know if McDuffie's that high of a talent, so I wouldn't be opposed to Jermaine Johnson. I don't know if Jermaine Johnson's that high of a talent either. I wouldn't be opposed.
Kyle Hamilton's still available, which they have going next to the Texans, I'd take him.
Yeah, I mean, that's a no-brainer for the Texans.
The Texans need to address their defensive backfield. Yep. Ravens. This is one that you had trouble with today.
Yeah, I wasn't sure what they were going to do.
They have them taking Trevor Penning, who's a tackle.
Yeah, I mean, they do need a tackle. Obviously, like this says here, they lost Orlando Brown Jr., but they also have a lot of other needs, like secondary, very badly, interior defensive linemen, but they definitely do need a tackle. And as much as I don't like Penning, I wouldn't be too opposed.
Eagles, Drake London.
Yeah, they need a receiver.
They need a receiver,
we all know. Although it does depend on what they do with the second pick in this, and we'll probably stop at 20.
Yeah. 16, Chris Olave. It's realistic.
Yeah, I mean, they do need a receiver, but again, they need a tackle because they lost Teron Armstead. But, yeah.
I think they need a lot of things. It's the Saints. Next, Chargers. I'm taking Traylon Burks. I don't see it.
They don't need a receiver. They have plenty offensively. Take Jordan Davis. You need a nose guard, or take a linebacker, or take a corner. You don't need a receiver. You have Mike Williams and Keenan Allen. You have Jared Cook. You have Austin Eckler, who's a great receiving threat. You don't need another receiver right now. A lot of other issues to fill.
Eagles. Devin Lloyd.
This is an A+ draft for the Eagles if they end up doing that.
I agree.
A+. You're getting the best. You're getting the best linebacker, most versatile linebacker in the class, and you're getting an elite receiver.
This is where they have him. Jordan Davis going to the Saints at 19. I like this pick a lot for the Saints.
They have plenty of defensive linemen, though. That's where it kills me. Is they have plenty of defensive linemen. Again, what they need is a tackle or a tight end. I mean, even though I don't think there are any tight ends worth taking this early in the first round, or linebackers or edge rushers. I don't think you really need a nose guard for this team that early.
Okay, 20. They have Malik Willis to the Steelers.
Yeah,
if he gets that far, he will get.
Yeah, they're either going to take Willis or Pickett at this point. I feel like it's kind of obvious.
Okay, so
we'll stop here.
Yeah, we'll stop here. Let's see who the Cowboys pick. Tyler Linderbaum. Yeah.
Again, that's like a no-brainer.
They have the Packers taking tackle.
Breece Hall in the first. That's interesting. Who do they have him taking?
What?
Wait, you said they have? Who do they have?
The Packers take Devontae Wyatt.
Why? They have Kenny Clark. Take Bernard Raymond or a receiver.
They have the Bucs taking a safety.
Why? They have like 5 safeties.
I'm not sure why they would do that.
Anyways.
All right.
We'll go to our next one for the NFL draft, which is the top. This is from PFF, ranking the top 10 players at their position. Obviously, we're not going to go through every position. We're just going to hit the big ones like offensive. We'll go through offensive tackle, edge defender, and like quarterbacks.
Whoa.
All right.
You're not going to like this.
Offensive tackle.
Number 1, Charles Cross.
No.
Number 2, Aquanu. And number 3.
Debatable. Evan Neal is a clear 1. That's all I have to say. He is a clear 1.
Penning 6.
Penning, yeah. I'm not high on him at all. I mean, Jamari Saylor should be higher than both Godecki and Zach Tom. Neal should be 1. It should go Neal, Ekwonu, Cross, Raymond, Smith, Penning, Jamari Saylor, Abraham Lucas, Godecki, Tom.
Those are Desmond's rankings.
Because, yeah, I how do we want to explain that? That's really...
Let's look at edge.
I swear to God.
Aiden Hutchinson 1.
Yep.
Thibodeau 2.
Yep.
George
Karlaftis, yep.
Yes,
I agree.
Travon.
Okay.
I think he's bigger. I think he's a better pick than Jermaine Johnson. It's debatable. So those are your top 5 edge rushers. Let's look at quarterbacks.
Oh, boy.
Ooh.
Hold on. Let's take a look here.
1, Malik Willis.
Okay.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, I've said a million times that he has a high ceiling out of any of the quarterbacks in this class by far.
Sam Howell at 2.
Okay.
I think it's just because he's got such a big arm.
Yeah.
But his numbers regressing at college is just the most confusing thing ever.
Yeah.
3, Desmond Ritter.
I mean, physically, yeah. I like him a lot, but I don't know how well he's going to be. I think he has a high ceiling, but his floor is very, very low.
4, Pickett.
I'm not high on Pickett.
Neither am
I.
I'm
not high on any of these guys, but I don't know.
5, Matt Corral.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, exactly.
The quarterbacks suck.
I wouldn't say they suck, but there's definitely been better years.
No, they suck. Compared to everything. I want to go through tight end really quick because I obviously the Giants need tight end. So we have Trey McBride 1. Yep, no doubt. Greg Dulcich 2. Okay. Jelani Woods.
Virginia graduate. What?
I'm going to assume who wrote this. Who?
Michael Renner.
I'm going to assume that Mr. Mike Renner here just completely forgot about Isaiah Likely because how is he not in the top 10? He's literally number 2. Like, undoubtedly number 2 at tight ends. Way better than Jelani Woods. Way better than Dulcich. You can argue he's better than McBride. I mean, what do you have? Like, I think it was like 92 catches for 912 yards, 12 touchdowns, only dropping 1 pass while being a great blocker. Yeah, in terms of the pros, he's going to need to work on his blocking, but like, he's better in the open field than McBride. He's better hands than McBride. He's a better blocker than McBride. He's a better red zone threat than McBride. I think McBride has a far better floor. I think he's like guaranteed to be a very solid tight end, but Isaiah Likely has superstar potential at tight end. Wow, man. That is unbelievable that he's not in the top 10. Mike Renner, you need to step your work up here, man. I will call him out because that is disgusting that he's not top 10. That actually kind of angers me a little bit.
NFL has him 9
in tight end.
Yep.
List the names over him.
Auden, is that his name? Cade Auden.
No.
Is that his name though?
Yes, it is his name, but no. He's
Trey
not.
McBride.
Okay.
Jeremy Ruckert.
No.
Greg Dulcich.
Maybe, but no.
Charlie Kohler.
Nope.
John Fitzpatrick.
Who?
John Fitzpatrick.
I've never heard of that guy.
He's a guy from Georgia. Jelani Woods.
No.
Daniel Bellinger.
Who?
Daniel Bellinger.
I've never heard of him.
He's from San Diego State.
There we go.
And then Isaiah Likely.
That's terrible. I don't get it. You just watch him play. That's all I have to say. And the last one I kind of want to look at quick is linebackers.
I want to look at receivers.
Linebackers, 1 Devin Lloyd, I agree. He's the most versatile linebacker in the draft by far. 2 Nakobe Dean, yeah. That's like the undoubted 1 and 2. 3 Leo Chenal, that's a little interesting. I think he's very good, but I might put Quay Walker over him. I'd probably go Chenal for now, but him and Quay Walker are a big toss-up. 5 Brian Asamoah, yeah. 6 Troy Anderson, yeah. 7 Chad Muma. Actually, no, I completely forgot about Chad Muma. Put Chad Muma at 4. Give me, my order would be Devin Lloyd, Nakobe Dean, Leo Chenal, Chad Muma, Quay Walker, Asamoah, Anderson, and then these guys towards the end. I'd actually move Brandon Smith up a little bit from 10. I'd probably put Brandon Smith at like 9. But I just can't believe the things I just read about Isaiah Likely. That actually.
And then last one we'll look at quickly is wide receiver. Number 1, Jamison Williams.
In terms of ceiling, yeah.
2, Drake London.
That's
fine.
Yeah.
3,
Oh, you know what this is? This is going off their big board ranking.
Yeah.
That's why. Okay.
Yes.
So that makes a lot more sense because their big board is not that good in my opinion.
2, Drake London. 3, Garrett Wilson.
I'd have Garrett Wilson in terms of 4 over all of these guys, but in terms of ceiling, I'd go London and Williams.
4, Chris Olave.
Yeah.
5, Sky Moore.
Yep.
6, Pickens. Yeah.
Yep.
This is fine.
I might put Burks over Pickens, but we're good with that for now.
So there's PFFs of the big positions. If you want to check out the other ones, go to PFF.com, and then you can just kind of find it there.
I cannot believe Isaiah Likely.
Well, speaking of positions, Weddle time.
Yeah, so I kind of made an oopsie this morning.
Do you already know who it is?
I remember who the hard one is. I don't remember who the easy one is.
Well, I'm not going to get the hard one, so we can do the easy
because I accidentally in class, I got really bored, and I decided I was going to do Weddle, not thinking that, oh, hey, we do Weddle on the show every day.
Daniel Jones.
Yes, sorry, Daniel Jones.
NFC East quarterback.
Is his age lower or higher than 24?
Lower.
Jalen Hurts.
Why can't I find him? I spelled his name wrong.
Did you spell it Jalen?
Yeah. Yep.
Jalen Hurts?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's easy.
Yeah, I mean that. I didn't remember that, but we go Daniel Jones every time, and the only other quarterbacks in the NFC East are Dak and Taylor Heineke, and both are well older than 24.
Yeah.
So,
we can.
What do you want to do? You want to go to break quick, or
should I just try Weddle hard? Is it someone like stupid?
It is. It is. You wouldn't guess him.
Who is it?
I don't know how to pronounce his name. He's a really young receiver on the Falcons. My buddy Luke would know this. His name is like Ola something Zacchaeus.
Oh, I see it.
Yeah.
I would have never gotten
I
that.
guessed that because I had Andrew Thomas as I always did. And I made a mistake. I was yellow on offensive tackle, so I thought that meant he was an offensive lineman, when in reality it means he's just on offense. So I was guessing offensive lineman. I went from Andrew Thomas to Shaq Mason. Then I got NFC South. I'm like, okay. Jalen Mayfield. He's a guard for the Falcons, and it popped up Falcons. I'm like, okay, Alec Lindstrom, or whatever his name is. No. And I'm like, okay, who is it? Because I was still thinking it was offensive lineman. Then I did Matt Hennessy, their center, and they're still yellow. I'm like, okay. So who's a 24-year-old guy under 6'4" on the Falcons? And I'm like, it's not Kyle Pitts. He's 6'6". And then I was like, oh, it's this guy. I literally sat there for 5 minutes trying to remember his name because I just didn't know how to spell it. So I eventually figured it out.
Did you get his name right?
Yes. Yeah, I didn't have to look it up. I just had to sit and try to remember.
There you go. So we'll quickly go to break. When we come back, we'll have your NBA coverage and baseball coverage.
Yeah.
So actually enjoy this music this time.
Well, that was neat.
Welcome back to WQKE LP 93.9 FM out of Plattsburgh, New York. Desmond, we just had a good little segment. How you feeling?
I dislike PFF.
I don't.
I like their stats.
I think they're a good foundation. That's the word I'm looking for.
I like their stats. I like their the grades and all that, even though they can be very biased at times. I like stuff like that. But after reading the top 10 per position and just a couple of articles I've read from them over the last couple of weeks. Ugh.
But I don't mind. I think they're a great foundation. They're very universal. They cover everything.
I agree, but it doesn't mean that's necessarily good coverage.
Still coverage.
I'd rather have smaller coverage as better than just quality over quantity. Anyways, moving to the NBA. Biggest story so far is that it was announced 2 days ago now.
Yep.
That Marcus Smart is the NBA Defensive Player of the Year. I agree.
You said it on the show, I believe.
I did say that I believe he should have won DPOY. The only other pick I would have had was Mikal Bridges or Gobert, but obviously I'd rather have Mikal or Marcus for my personal bias. But a lot of people have been saying some very dumb and just uneducated things about Marcus Smart the last couple of days, which just shows who does and who does not know ball. But regardless, good for Marcus. First guard to win it since Gary Payton. I've always been a big fan of Marcus. And, yeah. With that, we'll move into the overall NBA playoffs, the games. We have the games from Monday night, Tuesday night, and then we'll give you a preview into the games tonight. Start off with the first game of Monday night with the Raptors in Philly. Game 2, Philadelphia won this game 112-97. Raptors probably not coming back from the series. To me, this isn't really to me, this is kind of just a general thing. Free throws are definitely making the difference in this series. In Game 2, Philadelphia took 30 to the Raptors 12. I think Embiid shot 14 to the Raptors 12. Tyrese Maxey had another great game. I think he had a 23 points, 9 rebounds, 8 assists. OG Anunoby also had a great game, 26 points himself, while I'm sure playing great defense as he always does. The thing that really kind of stood out to me with this game is that Philadelphia won in the manner they did, with Harden only taking 9 shots. I think he only hit 3 of them, but still.
You saw the memes, I'm sure.
What?
It's whatever the score was with no Philadelphia free throws.
Oh,
then
yeah.
Stop fouling
that's
him.
so funny. Obviously, some fouls on Embiid and Harden aren't always fouls, but there are some where it's dude, shut up. But yeah, again, Raptors are probably done. If there's one coach you ever want to be down 0-2 against, so it is Doc Rivers, I'll say that much. So, yeah. With that, move on to the next game. The funniest game to me, Jazz Mavericks Game 2, with the Mavericks winning without Luka 110-104, with obviously the biggest story coming from that game being Jalen Brunson dropping career-high 41 points, probably earning himself a very big contract, whether it be for the Mavericks or another team. Maxi Kleber also hit 8 threes, which I love to watch. I'm going to say this right now. Even I said this on the show, and I've said it multiple times, that I have believed, and many people have, that Gobert needs to post up more, get the ball in the paint more. Yet I don't care. He is awful. He is a bad offensive player. If you are struggling to back down and hit layups on Maxi Kleber, you are just not a good offensive player. Obviously he's not known for his offense, but my goodness, man. And another thing I will say, I know I'm sure people are going to disagree, is what happened last game and what happens every year in the playoffs with Gobert is an example as to why pure rim protectors are fading out in the NBA. Yes, a lot of what happens in the paint is not necessarily on Gobert. But if he is that unversatile of a defender to where he cannot rotate around the perimeter or even guard guys on the perimeter for a short amount of time, and you're getting 8 threes hit on you by Maxi Kleber, how valuable of a defender are you really? This is the 4th year in a row now that the Jazz defense have taken a massive fall off in the playoffs. Obviously, again, it's not all Gobert's fault, but he's definitely played a part in it.
I do think he's a scapegoat for it all, though.
Oh, absolutely. He's absolutely a
That's
scapegoat.
why I feel kind of bad.
I do too, but, again...
And poor Donovan Mitchell is trying. He's, dropped 34, I believe, that game.
Yeah, 34 and 30 shots.
Still. Who else is going to shoot for the Jazz?
I don't know.
Gobert isn't.
Clearly. But, again, I believe in a better defensive team, Gobert might have more value, but it just shows, he can't be the number one defender come playoff time because he doesn't have that versatility. He sometimes had moments of guarding guys on the perimeter and looking great while doing it, but obviously you can't do it for a long amount of time.
It just kills me that you were down 2-0, they're going to be fine, Luka's coming back, then Jalen Brunson just goes off.
No, I said, dude, I said
all they got to do is, even if they're down 2-0, they're fine. And I was going into that game with that mindset, no matter what happens, the Mavs are going to be fine. Then Jalen Brunson just goes crazy.
Mm-hmm.
People on Twitter are I haven't even heard of Jalen Brunson, drops 41.
It was the Conor McGruder guy. He's have you ever heard of Jalen Brunson before this game? Be honest. Dude, he's a very good NBA player. Anyways,
41 points is ridiculous.
Yeah, no, my buddy Chris is a big fan of his. Obviously, he's a Mavericks fan, but he likes him a lot. But Donovan Mitchell has not been playing well thus far in the playoffs. He had 34 points on 30 shots yesterday, or Monday, whenever, and he had 30 on another 30 shots the game before. He obviously needs to step it up. We've seen him step it up in the playoffs before last year, or 2 years ago in the first round when they ended up losing to the Nuggets. They averaged 40 points a game or something like that. But
Deebo Samuel just liked a tweet of him in a Cowboys jersey.
Oh, no. Oh, yucky. Anyways, but yeah, and then that will move on to the last game from Monday night, the Nuggets and Warriors game 2. Warriors dominated this game again. I don't know why I didn't type down the score, but it's right here, 126-106. Jokic obviously needs help, but Draymond Green has been playing.
No, but it kills me though.
Fantastic defense.
It kills me though because all the people on Twitter are man, Jokic really choking in the playoffs. Still has 26-11 with 4 assists. You know
I'll say that.
Yeah,
but
everyone's he gets locked up by Draymond. Still drops 26.
Yeah, but Draymond is playing tremendous defense.
Oh, yeah,
I think.
And Jokic is a ball on every play.
Yeah, Jokic shot 9 for 20 this game as a center. That's not that. I mean, obviously he's more of a shooter at the center position, but still, I mean, when you have Will Barton shooting 5 of 15, Aaron Gordon shooting 3 for 9, JaMychal Green shooting 1 for 7.
I can't believe Aaron Gordon only took 9 shots.
It's just you're not going to win many games with that. Jordan Poole obviously played great again. Curry coming off the bench is a thing now, which is ridiculous.
Quickly, can you just read off the Warriors stats lines because they're absolutely absurd.
So, okay, Draymond Green had 6 points, 6 assists, 3 rebounds, 3 steals, and a block. Obviously played great defense in Jokic. Wiggins himself had 13 points, 8 rebounds, 2 assists, and a block. 5 and 9 from the field, 2 3 from 3. This is where it gets a little ridiculous. Clay, 21 points, didn't play that great, 9 and 19 from the field, 3 of 8 from 3. Then you have Jordan Poole, 10 of 16 from the field, 5 of 10 from 3, 29 points, 8 assists, 5 rebounds. Then Curry off the bench in only 23 minutes at 34 points on 12 of 17 from the field and 5 of 10
and
from
if you watch this game,
for 3.
The shots do you see that one shot that's everywhere on Twitter? I watched it live. I couldn't even believe my eyes. Faked a shot, jumps to the right, sets feet, drills a 3 over a defender.
Yeah,
and
I did see that.
What is going on right now? Vintage Curry in the playoffs is just ridiculous. Then you got the troll Barry's all Curry's a mediocre playoff player. That guy is such a good troll.
But I will say, like I said before, Draymond's obviously playing great defense on Jokic. But again, this is why I have Draymond as a more valuable defender than Gobert. Because when they match up Gobert and Jokic in 2020, this dude Gobert got torched. He got torched. Jokic, I was looking at before, averaged like 20 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists on like 51% from the field and 47% from 3. The numbers he's averaging now are similar, but the difference is his efficiency. Jokic is yet to hit a 3 in the series and is shooting like 47% from the field as a center. Not ideal from the slightest. I think I saw a stat. I can't remember who showed me it. I could be wrong. It was obviously in favor of Draymond playing great defense on Jokic, but I believe the number one stat I saw was when guarded by Jokic, or guarded by Draymond, Jokic is shooting like 8 of 20 from the field.
Makes
which
sense.
is obviously very good considering that Draymond's like 6'6" and Jokic is a 7 foot tall MVP center. But it's not only Draymond's ability to guard someone like Jokic, it's his ability to guard everything and everyone at any moment on the court.
I'm going to cut you off, though. I think Draymond's going to get tested in what's coming for the Warriors. We'll put it that way.
Against who? Who's going to test him more than Jokic?
Well,
Who's going to test him more than Jokic?
I'm curious to see what they will do on teams that are more diverse. We'll put it that way. Watch the Nuggets. Jokic has ball on every play.
He's getting locked up.
No, he is, but he's their only choice. You know what I'm saying?
No, I understand.
You're playing.
That.
It's like you and I playing 1-on-1. You know what
no,
I'm saying?
like I understand
of course,
that.
That's all Draymond. Like, let's just see what happens when they play someone like the Suns, for example.
He's still going to play great defense.
I know, but you have 2 perimeter shooters. I'm curious. I'm very curious.
Well, at this point, it might be 1, but
we'll get to that in a second.
Right now, we'll go into the games from yesterday. The first game, we had the Hawks and Heat. Game 2, he dominated the Hawks again, 115 to 105. Jimmy Butler had himself a little masterclass, 45 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists. Trae Young, what?
Quick stat for you: he has 3 40-point games in the playoffs as a Miami Heat or as a Heat. So I think he's one behind Dwayne Wade for the most 40-point games in the playoffs. Just a really irrelevant stat, but I think it's pretty cool that goes to show how well Jimmy Butler's played in the playoffs the last, 3 seasons? Basically 2 seasons, because they didn't really do anything last year.
Anyways, Trae Young played poorly again. 25 points, 10 to 20 from the field, 2 of 10 from 3 with 10 turnovers. My goodness. Bogdanovich played great, 29 points, 12 to 18 from the field. He's been playing well this year in the playoffs like he usually does. That's all I really have in this game. This series is likely, unless Trae Young ends up turning it around, the series is likely done with.
And everyone's like, "Oh, upset."
I thought the Hawks could have done it. I don't think I necessarily called that they would, but I said that they could do it.
I think the Heat are very slept on because they're just not.
It's just the number one thing that's killing them is Trae playing poorly. That's what's causing him to go down.
Trae playing poorly can be associated with good defense.
Absolutely. But next game we have Timberwolves Grizzlies game 2. Grizzlies blew out the Timberwolves 124 to 96. Cat only took 7 shots, which obviously isn't ideal. The number one thing that I noticed when I did not watch this game, but I was looking at the stats, Grizzlies' depth definitely took this game over. 7 double-digit scores with 4 of them coming off the bench. I think like Xavier Tillman had 13. Trey Jones had like 10. Hold on, wrong game. But it's just we've seen what this depth can do. I mean, in the regular season, they beat the fully healthy Suns team without a single one of their starters. Like, we've seen what this Grizzlies bench can do.
And I think that's what they're going to have to rely on, especially with Morant went to the locker room in the game.
That, yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see. I think he ran into Cat hard.
Yeah, Cat kind of need him in the quad or something like that. But
at least
with
it's
that,
not ankle.
Yeah, with that, we'll move on to the final game from Tuesday. Suns and Pelicans game 2. Pelicans pulling off the upset to win 125 to 114. Devin Booker had like 30, I think he had 31 points, but he got hurt down the stretch.
Dapped up a baby.
That was so funny.
And now a buzzer beater fading away, falls on the sideline and daps up a baby on the sideline.
I thought it was Hasbulla at first. You know who Hasbulla is?
No.
How do you not know who Hasbulla is?
Who is it?
He's like, I don't know what country he's from, but he's like he has like a disease or like a whatever they would call it, where he's like, I think he's like 18 years old, but he's the size and has the facial structure and body of a baby. And it is the cutest, funniest thing I've ever seen. I cannot believe you've never heard of Hasbulla.
I'll have to look it up.
You have to look it up.
But he just dapped up a random baby. I can't get over that.
Yeah, no, that was really funny. Woj announced not too long ago that he's likely to miss games 3 and 4, which obviously is not good for the Suns.
Yeah.
Chris Paul did not follow up his 30 and 10 game very well. He kind of killed one of my parlays last night. I'm trying to be more descriptive with this, but the internet in here is not very good, so I can't. I'm trying to load the games up.
Do you want me to get his stats?
Yes, if
Chris
you can.
Paul's stats: 36 minutes, which is absurd. 5 from 16 to the field,
Yeah.
2 from 6 for 3, 1 rebound, 14 assists, 17 points, minus 12.
Yeah, that's not ideal.
That's all you need right there.
And the number one thing I saw is that DeAndre Ayton only took 6 shots, which when you're up against Jonas Valanciunas, you have to take more than 6 shots.
Yeah, 4 for 6.
Yeah.
Man, their bench did not play well.
No, I saw Cameron Johnson wasn't the most efficient, especially from 3.
But the Pelicans, on the other hand, wow, what a game.
Yeah, I saw Brandon Ingram. I thought I wrote it down. Oh, I did. I just kind of went over it. Yeah, Brandon Ingram is he's been one of my favorite players to watch develop because obviously coming out of college, he had the KD build, but after his rookie year, it's kind of questionable as to whether he would develop into that kind of player. And obviously, he started to develop. Obviously, not on KD's level, but offensively,
that type of player.
Offensively, he's been one of the better players in the league in that aspect. But great games so far, without a doubt. And then tonight's games, which I'm very excited for. My favorite playoff series thus far. It's only been one game. We have Nets and Celtics game 2 at, if I can load it here, we have that at 7 o'clock on TNT. Boston are 3.5-point favorites as of right now. I'd probably go them because Marcus Smart winning Depoy is obviously going to pump them up a little bit. So if they can manage to go up 2-0 on the Nets, that would obviously be huge. Also, in the news for the Nets, Ben Simmons, it was announced that he should be coming back game 4. Not that I think he'll make that much of a difference, but next game we have tonight at 8 o'clock on an NBA TV. Not putting a playoff game on national television is really stupid.
Makes no sense.
But the Philadelphia are somehow only 1.5-point favorites. I don't understand how they're only that high of favorites. Obviously, I'm going to go Philly here. And then for the last game of the night, starting 9:30 on TNT, we have the Bulls and the Bucks, game 2. Milwaukee are 10-point favorites.
That's tonight or tomorrow?
Yeah, tonight. And
that's the game to watch tonight.
What? Celtics Nets.
Oh, well, that one too. Sorry.
I mean, obviously, if DeRozan, Vooch, and Levine all play terribly, it's going to be a pretty clean, quick game for the Bucks. I mean, I say that, but even then, they all played terribly, and it was a close game last time. But that was also because Middleton and Holiday also played terribly. So we'll see. Really, this is kind of like the game of the playoff chokers, which is kind of funny. But
that'll be an interesting game for sure.
Yeah, that's all I have on. We usually do Podal, but I accidentally played that this morning. And
who was it?
Kelly Olynyk.
Oh, okay.
It took me to the last guess because I completely forgot he wore number 13.
All right, quickly. Might be a little early end of the show today, but that's all right. We'll talk about baseball quickly. Let's do our standing overlook. I like starting with that. Do you see what's going on in the American League East? It's essentially a 4-way tie for first place. In the American League East right now, it's essentially a 4-way tie for first.
Really?
6-5 Red Sox, Yankees 6-5, Blue Jays 6-5, Rays 6-6.
Oh wow, that's fun.
But since the divisions have to play each other constantly, that's why their records are all inflated. Like I know the Red Sox beat the Blue Jays last night, and they only have 3 hits and beat the Blue Jays 2-1.
That's crazy.
I think White Sox still rolling 6-3. Athletics and Angels tied for first at 7-5 in the AL West.
Did you see how the attendance for the A's game the other night?
What was it?
Hold on, I have a picture of it right here. 3,748.
Well, yeah. Have you seen their stadium? It's the ugliest thing I've ever seen.
And that's the thing. There are pictures from the stadium from that night. There's way less than 3,000 people there. No doubt in my mind. I think the moving thing is becoming urgent. Like they're demanding a new stadium, but just leaving. I saw that.
I mean, I'd leave. It's ugly there. It's disgusting.
I don't know. I haven't seen it enough.
Look up their stadium right now. It's disgusting.
I'll try.
Mariners 6-5, Astros 6-5. Astros rough start to the season, and Jose Altuve just got put in the IL.
Really?
Yep, hamstring strain. Mets are just rolling their division over 9-3 in the 9-3. Excuse me, in the NL East. Cardinals 6-3, and I know Jordan Hicks.
I don't see anything wrong with that.
It's ugly. Jordan Hicks is making his season debut tonight. I think Willis after starting injured. Is that happening? And the Rockies, Dodgers, and Giants all atop the division with the Padres not far behind. I know the Braves have good news coming with Acuna is in. Did you see what happened? He's in AAA right now on his rehab stint. Did you see what he did?
No.
He gets the pitcher throws it's like 3-2 count. Pitcher throws a ball. He starts walking to first. Up calls it a strike. So then the next at bat, This is in the minor league. The next at-bat, he walks and does a bat flip on the ump and then walks to first. I'm like, dude, you were in AAA. Whatever. Let's look at our batting leaders. Owen Miller for the Guardians is somehow hitting 500 right now, which makes no sense, but coming out of absolute nowhere. But Jose Ramirez still hitting the cover off the ball. And then Suzuki, I'm not very good at his pronunciation, I'm sorry, got signed by the Cubs from Japan, and he was one of those players that people didn't really know about. He's hitting 414 right now and having an unbelievable start to the season. So that's good to see those players come over and translate those abilities. Yeah. Like everyone says, and they're right, if Ichiro had played, because Ichiro didn't come over to the MLB until he was like 26 or 27.
Yeah.
If he had come over at like 20, he would be the all-time hits leader, because he has over Pete Rose's record combined between Japan and the U.S. So he probably could have had a similar amount. And then Justin Verlander has a .69 earned run average. The other story is Garrett Cole last night got pulled after 1 2/3 innings, which his rough start to the season continues, and the memes are continuing, which are so funny about him not being a spider tag. But the Yankees bullpen is like the best bullpen in the league right now, which is absolutely ridiculous. But besides that, there's not much for stats. I know let me just go to the schedule. I know there's a couple of good games tonight. Give me 1 second. Yeah, there are a couple of good games tonight. Angels, Astros, that one's at 6:40. And I believe Shohei's pitching tonight, too, so that's definitely another game to watch. And then Blue Jays, Boston. Brios is pitching for Toronto, so that's definitely a good game to tune into also. And then White Sox Guardians is going on right now. Dallas Keuchel versus Shane Bieber, and the Guardians are up 10-0, so they're absolutely must have lit up Dallas Keuchel. And then today they play all those same games I just repeated are also tomorrow, and then also Giants Mets too, which is a good series between two good teams. I think the Mets won in extra innings yesterday, if I remember correctly. Yeah, 5-4 Mets win in extra innings, so it must have been a walk-off win. Adam Ottavino got the win. That makes me so sad. That former Yankee bullpen guy. But besides that, yeah, MLB off to a very interesting start. I know we'll talk about it on the next episode next Monday. I know the hockey playoffs are almost set, and like the race for the President Trophy is currently underway. But we'll talk about it on the next episode. Otherwise,
that's all I got.
That is all we have for today. So thanks for tuning in, and we appreciate it very much. Tune into the basketball games tonight. We got some good ones.
Oh, yeah.
Next episode will be next Monday. Follow us on Twitter at SportsReportPLT.
Yep.
But besides that, have a blessed weekend, and we look forward to hearing you right here Monday at 3 o'clock.
Have a blessed night.
Yep, have a good one.